Matangazo after every 4 minutes.
Kitu unahitajika kufanya, uchague tu namba zako.
4 minutes are enough to win big with Mega Dollar. Just go to Lipa na M-Pesa, select Pay Bill, enter business number 295888, enter account name KBC. Deposit 10 shillings or more, enter your PIN and press OK, then choose 10 numbers from 1 to 80 and send to 29588. And you can win up to 30 million shillings every 4 minutes. Deposit, play and win with Mega Dollar. Big game for big winners.
So you're my mother.
Shh, please girl, do not say that here, okay?
You're ashamed of me, aren't you?
No, it's not that.
I know that you must be upset with me now. I know that I said some hurtful things, but also understand that you hurt me. Elena! Elena! Elena!
My daughter will die. My baby is going to die.
In my wife's absence, I have to take care of all aspects of the businesses.
Your wife will be coming back any time now.
But nonetheless, in the meantime, I will be taking care of everything.
I only saw a truck that suddenly took off at high speed.
I can't believe it.
It is worth noting that we are on the verge of losing industrial plants within our country because they will shift their positions into developed countries to seek cleaner sources of energy. Now, the governments of developing countries have an obligation to their citizens, and the industries that are based in their countries will help them to build up on their economic growth.
It stated out that the World Bank Carbon Research Unit has proved that a percentage of 240% increase in carbon trade a profit to the developing countries.
Hello, good afternoon to you. Great thanks for joining us. This is Channel 1 Lunchtime News. Today is Monday, the 16th of April, 2018. And obviously, what a day it is shaping up to be. Obviously, after the resignation of IEBC commissioners, 3 of them, that is the Vice Chair, Consolata Nkadha Buchamaina, as well as Margaret Mochanya, and that is Paul Kurgat, Commissioner also with the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. After the resignation of Akombe last year, that leaves the Commission with only 3, led by the Chair, that is Chebukati, and 2 other commissioners. The story is still shaping up. We'll be informing you about the same as the day continues to unfold. But for now, what we know so far, 3 commissioners of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, have resigned, citing lack of confidence in the chairperson, Wafula Chebukati. Vice Chair Consolata Nkadha Buchamaina, Margaret Mochanya, and Paul Kurgat said they no longer find the positions under the IEBC tenable.
3 days after the High Court has declined to issue orders to reinstate IEBC Ezra Chiloba, who was sent on a 3-month compulsory leave a week ago.
Ready?
3 commissioners of the electoral body have quit. Vice Chairperson Consolata Nkadha Maina, Margaret Mochanya, and Paul Kurgat claim the IEBC under the leadership of the Wafula Chebukati is dysfunctional.
The institution has continued to be dysfunctional, with arbitrary decision making, leaking of internal documents to serve personal goals, and pursuing of personal interests, all of which are against the laid down laws that govern the conduct of the Commission leadership and staff. This rests to chase ghosts that don't exist needs to stop.
At a press conference on Monday morning, the trial father said external players had encroached on the commissioner's independence. They faulted Chiloba's removal, saying it is a weighty matter that should not have been treated lightly.
For far too long and way too many times, the commission chair has failed to be the steady and stable hand that steers the ship in difficult times and gives direction when needed. Instead, under his leadership, the commission boardroom has become a venue for peddling money, misinformation, grounds for brewing mistrust, and a space for scrambling for and chasing individual glory and credit.
After the resignation of the three commissioners, IEBC is now left with chair and the only two commissioners, Professor Abdi Yakub Gulie and Boya Molu. The first commissioner to resign was Rosalind Akombe, who quit just days to the October 26, 2017 repeat presidential polls.
The events related to the purported votes have greatly shaken our already feeble confidence in the chair. Given this severe deterioration of confidence in the commission chair, we find our position as commissioners under his leadership no longer tenable. Consequently, we regret to announce our resignation from the commission with immediately effect. We thank the people of Kenya for according us this noble opportunity to serve as commissioners of the IEBC.
So in terms of elections, I want to assure Kenyans that we had a wonderful, wonderful election. And as we leave, we are proud because we believe that the election that we did was good. And we did 2 elections within 1 year.
Thank you very much.
Reporting for Lunchtime News, I'm Kaltun Jama.
Moving this forward, leaders in the country have paid glowing tribute to fallen multi-party democracy icon Kenneth Stanley Jindo Matiba, who died last night at a Nairobi hospital. President Uhuru Kenyatta mourned Matiba as a hard-working public servant and role model who shaped the country's political landscape. Deputy President William Ruto, former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, and other senior government officials eulogized him as a true statesman. The president, in a televised address to the nation last night, mourned Matiba as a true patriot who loved Kenya and a nationalist who believed in hard work and building strong bonds of friendship. President Kenyatta hailing his fight for multi-party democracy as a step that transformed the country.
Indeed, Mzee Matiba was among the first sons of Kenya
It allows women, children, and everyone to be in the register.
Among our work, women land rights is a key area of interest, and we talk about women land rights in private land, in public land, but also in community land. In this area where we are in Laikipia North, majority of the land here is community land, and of course we come from a background where women have not had a proper say in the management of community land. They have not had a proper voice, but we are also very excited that there's a new law, the Community Land Act, that actually we can call it is a feminist law in a way. It has
Over 500 victims of flash floods, including those living with HIV in Maralal, have received supplementary food staff. The relief food is part of government's efforts to ensure persons living with HIV continue to live their lives, or rather continue to take their antiretroviral medication, which if taken without food can be harmful to their health.
The residents complain that they have been suffering for the past 10 years as a result of flash floods and have been relying on help from well-wishers as their houses are swept away by the floods.
Hapa tuko na njaa sana. Mvua imenyesha, imesomba kila kitu na tuko na njaa, hatuna hata kitu yoyote. Hata hapa nyumbani kila mtu ako na shida mengi sana. Hata manyumba hatuna, hata mattress hatuna ya kulalia.
The government has been distributing supplementary food to elders, especially those affected by HIV, as antiretrovirals can be dangerous if taken on an empty stomach. The area's woman representative Mason Leshomo asked the national government to find possible solutions of mitigating the effects of drought and floods in the region as the community is suffering both extremes.
Tuone yakati ya mvua maji isiue watu na isilete tena mviringo kama hii. Watoe tena mabati tujengee, hawa ni wengi, pali mingi tunajua kuna shida. Na tunataka pia kutoa watu wetu kwa ile manyumba kidogo wanakaa.
Opicho Jail for Channel 1 Lunchtime News.
And now, the postnatal period is a critical phase in the lives of mothers and newborns. It is advised that both mother and baby get regular medical checkups by attending postnatal clinics to ensure the well-being of both. It is also during this period that mothers, especially first-time ones, desire to go back to their pre-pregnancy physical shape. The stomach area is usually the main focus, and many have been known to use a number of methods to achieve their goal, including following strict diets and physical training routines. Then there are those who choose alternative therapy, like engaging the services of masseurs known as Mama Kanda. Nena Karanja tells us more.
Saba Salim is a Mama Kanda. She is a masseuse who visits mothers after delivery in the comfort of their homes to offer a unique postnatal care service.
I'm popularly known as Mama Kanda. I work with ladies after they have their babies. I massage them and offer services postnatal with helping the mom recover. But if someone is bleeding too much, that one is a case for the hospital. We work at home basically, so if there's a complication after birth, unless it's something to do with back pain and shoulder pain and maybe the mom lacking enough milk, we refer them back to the hospital.
Mama Kanda's package also includes baby massage, which helps manage conditions common in newborns.
Matege, like bow-legged, and it's not because of lack of vitamin D. This is a new baby we're talking about. So if you do the massage regularly, you find you're straightening the limbs, and the baby is okay.
Saba is not a qualified medical doctor, but from her 3 years experience in the trade, she can tell when things are not right with both mother and baby. Gynecologist Dr. Wanjiru Ndegwa says it is important for mothers who use Mama Kanda services to attend postnatal clinics.
Depending on whether you've delivered normally. If you deliver normally, you're usually out within 24 to 48 hours. You're allowed to go home and rest and take care of your baby at home. Thereafter, we need to see you usually at 2 weeks. and at 6 weeks. And this is also for a mother who has delivered through cesarean section. We need to see you at the 2 weeks and at 6 weeks. And at the 2 weeks visit, we are checking that your breasts are okay, that you're still lactating very well, that the uterus has contracted to where we want it to be at that point, because it was huge during pregnancy. It has to contract downwards and go back to its normal state. We're also checking whether you've been bleeding excessively, whether there is any foul discharge that we would need to address. And we're also checking your blood pressure and your vitals. We're also checking whether your legs are swollen and things that would suggest that there are other problems related to post-delivery.
Dr. Jesse Ngugi, the medical superintendent at Kiambu Level 5 Hospital, agrees with Dr. Ndegwa and adds that
I want to know that the baby is also doing well, because sometimes there are infections that babies can develop very early. They can have yellow eyes, they can have discharging eyes, they can have the umbilicus, which is not properly healed. So you want to ensure that mother and baby are fine at the very first clinic. That happens at the second week.
Fortunately, convergence of traditional and conventional therapies means patients reap the benefits of both.
Feel relaxed, and it really helps a lot. When after birth, there's that stress you have when you're pregnant. Before you give birth, you're so tired, you cannot sleep, you are limited. You can only sleep with your sides, because you can neither sleep with your stomach nor your back. You're always advised to sleep with your sides. So after that, there's that pressure, you feel the back pain and all that. Immediately after massage, I don't know how I can explain the feeling. It's just awesome. You just want to rest. You don't want any disturbance. Please go for it. If you can't maybe afford maybe her or these professional ones, maybe get someone who can do it. But I would advise you to get someone who is professional, someone who knows what they are doing. Because again, if you don't do it the right way, you'll miss out some things.
And so, would you consider being a mama kanda as a viable profession? Saba Salim says there are many opportunities for the youths in the field.
I told someone about it and she was interested, and so I did the massage for her and she loved it, and by word of mouth it got out there and it became a business. In a clockwise motion, small circles clockwise. If there is any gas, it will come out. He'll either poop or just let it out as a big belch.
The rate of unemployment among the youths in the country has been escalating over the years. However, Saba Salim, a university graduate, has beaten all odds by embracing her skills as a postnatal care masseuse as a way of earning a living. Lena Karanja, reporting for Channel 1.
Fantastic story there by Lena Karanja. Takes us to a very fast breather. Don't go far. We're coming back with more news.
Nilikuwa nina watch show, alafu kuna ile number special 10 zilipeanwa pale. Alafu baadaye nikatangaza kuwa mimi ndio mshindi. Naso laba mtaani niko na kioski yangu pale. Yenye nimeshinda nda boost ile kioski yangu iko kubwa kidogo, na wasi mcheze. $100 ni ya ukweli.
Nawe pia cheza ushinde leo. Top up kwa paybill number 295888 uanzie sasa.
He read the diagnosis. To me, it was pure French.
And they were cancerous. I really want to have my life back. I miss cooking, you know. I miss... I miss so much. Right now, I can't remember the last time I ever got a pair of shoes. Because I think that must have been in 2016. Which must have been Batangoma, yeah. The whole of 2017, I haven't even bought myself anything. That's the truth.
It is worth noting that we are on the verge of losing industrial plants within our country because they will shift their positions into developed countries to seek cleaner sources of energy. Now, the governments of developing countries have an obligation to their citizens, and the industries that are based in their countries will help them to build up on their economic growth.
It stated out that the World Bank Carbon Research Unit has proved that a percentage of 240% increase in carbon trade a profit to the developing countries.
Further afield, French President Emmanuel Macron has said he is convinced that US President Donald, or rather he convinced US President Donald Trump not to withdraw troops from Syria and instead commit for the long term.
Earlier this month, the U.S. President Donald Trump declared that the U.S. would be coming out of Syria very soon. The U.S. has about 2,000 personnel on the ground in eastern Syria, supporting an alliance of the Kurdish and Arab militias called the Syrian Democratic Forces. On Saturday, the joint U.S., UK and French strike targeted Syrian government sites in response to an alleged chemical weapon attack. Macron said he also persuaded Trump to keep the strike limited. Macron and Trump, who are reported to have a friendly relationship, spoke multiple times in the days before the military action was taken. White House spokesman Sarah Sanders said that the U.S. mission has not changed and it was determined to completely crush the Islamic State group and prevent its run. Reporting for Channel 1, I am Yasmin Monseka.
Former FBI Director James Comey has accused the U.S. President Donald Trump of being morally unfit to be president. In his first major television interview since he was fired, Comey accused Trump of lying constantly and allegedly having obstructed justice.
In the television interview with ABC News, former FBI Director James Comey accused US President Donald Trump of lying constantly and allegedly having obstructed justice. He argues that Trump is not medically unfit but is morally unfit to be president, following claims about him being mentally incompetent or on early stages of dementia. Hours before the interview aired, the president went on an offensive, accusing Comey of deceit, saying that the only thing worse than the former detective's history of misconduct is his willingness to say anything to sell books. The Republican National Committee issued a statement after the interview aired, saying that Comey's publicity tour for his new book showed his true higher loyalty is to himself. It is the latest development in a long-standing feud between the two men, further fueled by the upcoming publication of Comey's memoir, A Higher Loyalty, Truth, Lies and Leadership.
Let's bring it back home. Lecturers are now threatening to institute civil and criminal charges against university vice-chancellors. The dons under WASU and KUSU are accusing vice-chancellors of intimidation and threats despite court orders regarding the strike. At the same time, they have disowned the counter offer by the Inter-Public Universities Council's Consultative Forum last week. WASU and KUSU allege that the document doesn't meet the parameters of a counter offer, let alone a collective bargaining agreement, as clarified by the law. The dons, who are now seeking President Uhuru's intervention to end this stalemate, accuse IPUCCF of frustrating and trivializing the negotiation talks.
The criminal proceedings in accordance with the law against all vice-chancellors implicated in the scandal. That it is time that the government, led by none other than the president, needs to step in this matter and address it once and conclusively. In fact, dear Kenyans, I want to tell you that if this particular CBA is fixed now, for the next 4 years, there will be industrial tranquility within our institutions of higher learning, and our students will study and graduate on time. In word, IPUCCF has refused to begin. EDUASU has categorically rejected the sham document IPUC presented at the negotiated table. WASU members are extremely disappointed by the sham counteroffer, and the action by IPUCCF has worsened the current crisis.
That as far as the KUSU strike is concerned, there is no court order that has declared it illegal and unprotected. There is no court order. Then I am afraid to say you don't deserve to be called a vice chancellor. Harassing and intimidating staff who are on a lawful strike. The best you can do, come to us and engage us on how we can get a long-lasting solution.